Mr. Kono, thank you very much. I must say it's not only an honor and a privilege, but a real pleasure to have this moment with you to discuss Japan and Europe's relation after 50 years of diplomatic presence of the European Union here in Japan. So thank you very much for having accepted.
Thank you. I'm honored to be participating in this.
Thank you very much. You have close ties to the European Union, and you have worked with us, I think, over much of your career. So how do you see maybe the key elements of the past relationship between the European Union and Japan?
Thank you. Well, Europe and Japan share their common values, and we are very good allies, we could say. So we have a lot more to go for the future. But if we look back, my family, my grandfather visited Europe at the real beginning of the 1960s or late at the end of the 1950s.
Okay.
And he came back and he told my father, well, we need to look at Europe more carefully. And I think he was talking about then EEC. And so my father was actually paying much attention to Europe. And he was also invited by EU to visit headquarters. And when he was a foreign minister, I think he made a speech next 10 years for EU and Japan. And I think that was very well received in Europe. So he told me that Europe is important region, and I'm also invited by EU on a visiting program, and I had a first-hand experience at the EU headquarters where people from so many countries are working together, and that was fascinating. So we have had our ups and downs. I mean, we had our bad time and good time, but now I think we are getting much closer, and Japan pays more attention to Europe, and I think European nations, EU, are paying more attention to this Indo-Pacific. So we have a lot of things in common, and we have the same, I think we share our destiny. So into the future, I think we need to work much closer, not just at the political or economic level, but I think the people-to-people relationship will be more important in the future.
Now, thanks for sharing this family take on the European Union and the fact that your grandfather already could see the potential of the European Economic Community out of the Rome Treaty in '57. Then indeed develop into what is today the European Union.
Right.
So you were part also of the European Union Visitors Program. This was in the late 90s, I think?
1997, maybe.
So yes. This was...
right after I first came to the Parliament.
So a union of, at the time, I think 15 member states, already quite a big political project. So the EU Visitors Program is meant indeed to be a platform for our partners to visit and for the institutions to be better understood, but also to create bridges to partners across the world. So I'm very happy that both your father and yourself could benefit from it. Has this moment been useful then in your further career? Have you been able to use that?
Yes. My main theme of the visit was genetically modified foodstuff that was coming to the market, and we were talking about how to label GMOs, or if we should label GMOs, and EU had a similar discussion. So I was able to see so many people who are involved in this issues, and I kind of learned how EU works as I see so many people. So I established some channel exchanging information between Japan and EU, And so that was my introduction to European system. So whatever I do after that, as a foreign minister, defense minister, or vaccine rollout minister, I know who to deal with, how to deal with the European Union and each countries. So that was a very good introduction, and I'm very thankful.
How we think, how we act. I'm sure you really had insights into that, and indeed, you have had a really key role in the strategic partnership agreement as Minister for Foreign Affairs, which is the framework which covers really all public policies of Japan and the European Union, which was agreed back in 2018. And you just said it, you were also the major actor, the Tsar, on the vaccines here on the Japanese side. And I mean, do you think there are lessons to be learned from those two key moments of the relationship as we now move forward?
I was very fortunate to witness the signing of SPA by Prime Minister Abe. So that was a big framework between Japan and European relationship into the future. So I'm very proud to be part of it. And as you mentioned, I was minister in charge of the vaccine rollout. All the vaccine start coming to Japan from Europe. So I had to negotiate with the vaccine manufacturers. Then I had to talk to EU headquarters to get the permission to get the vaccine out of Europe coming to Japan. Well, fortunately, EU has agreed to all the shipment going to Japan. So we are very grateful. And although there was a little difference because in Europe, many countries could do lockdown, but our government didn't have authority to do that. And the number of patients in Japan is probably a digit or 2-digit less than Europe. So I had to explain why we need to get the vaccine as scheduled, whereas European people asking me, why are you in such a hurry? Your level is much less than Europe. So I had to tell them, well, our government don't have authority to lock down. And we cannot tell doctors to come and help us vaccinate. So we are relying on the goodwill of the doctor. So we cannot change the schedule as we have. So that's why we need to have vaccine transported to Japan as scheduled. And I think finally, EU headquarters understood the situation in Japan. So we are very grateful your support to fight against the COVID. And I think we established working relationship on concrete issues. So now, as a digital minister, we are talking about issues relating to cross-border data flow. And then we have differences, but we know we can work it out. So with the help of European Union, we have agreed to set up a new international framework under the umbrella of OECD. So there are differences, but if we can share the goal, we can share the vision, we can work together. So I have experienced the successful case a couple of times. So now I'm proudly can tell people, well, Europe is a great partner, a very trusted partner, and I think we can do a lot of things together to achieve our common goals.
Thank you, Minister. And I think you have just indeed illustrated that when one speaks of like-minded partners, I don't think I can see more like-minded partners than the European Union in the areas which you have identified. GMOs, data privacy and the regulation of the sector, soon AI, discussions ongoing in Japan, vaccination as well. I think our societies are expecting public policies which are of course distinct, but which have a lot in common, and that I think is a very strong basis for that political partnership as we now move forward.
Right. I think Europe has a very long history, and we have long history as well. So we have very much established tradition and cultures in Europe and in Japan, and we understand that our counterpart has enjoyed the tradition and they have established the history. So we need to respect that, but we also know that they can respect our culture and tradition. So it may be easier to understand each other with long history and established tradition. So we have a base for mutual understanding. And I think we simply need to increase our exchanges and to move things forward. So Europe would be a very good partner in many issues. And that's why I think we need to increase the exchange of people at the student level or the business level, or maybe we should increase more political exchange as well.
Thank you very much. I think this has been really capturing 50 years and more of this relationship, and thank you so much for being in the Japanese system, a partner which promotes the European Union relationship so well. Thank you very much, Minister.
Thank you. Thank you very much.